Since data is so critical to AI, as well as to many of the other technologies that underpin fintech, it is important that not only the right data is being used, but also ensuring such data is not biased. The phrase garbage in and garbage out has probably never been more apt nor as important than when describing AI.
And bias can find its way into AI in a few ways. Let's take a simple example. If a computer's model is using data that's already contaminated by some level of discrimination, then the output would also inevitably be prejudiced. So say, for instance, your AI relies on data from apartheid-era South Africa. Well, chances are that data incorporates the widespread racist policies that existed at that time. Obviously, this would lead to less than ideal outcomes.
And even assuming your data is free of such explicit bias, there are other ways for bias to possibly creep into artificial intelligence. For example, cultural bias and norms can inadvertently be programmed into AI because a programmer from one culture might value some characteristic differently than a programmer from another part of the world. We'll explore this a bit further when we revisit the trolley problem.
There are other potential issues that also relate to bias. AI is driven by algorithms and models. In her thought-provoking book, Weapons of Math Destruction, or what Harvard-trained mathematician Cathy O'Neil refers to as WMDs, she identifies 3 characteristics of a possibly dangerous model. So the first characteristic of a dangerous model is that the model is opaque and not transparent. So this would be if the system is what we call a black box, and it's difficult for those from the outside to be able to really understand what is going on behind the scenes. The second is that the model is potentially scalable and can be used broadly or across large populations. Now, of course, this has been a key component to what we've talked about thus far. The issue with a lot of these AI and other forms of technology is that they can scale beyond anything that we've seen before. And the third aspect is that the model would potentially be unfair in a way that would negatively impact or even destroy people's lives. So for example, if AI was being used from a fintech context to determine who could get a mortgage to purchase a home, who has access to credit, etc., these would be things that could have a significant negative impact if someone was not granted access to them.
So despite all the good that will certainly accompany the rise of AI, it's also pretty clear that biased data, in conjunction with possibly suspect models, have the potential to create more risk, unfairness, and inequality, which is why it's important to be aware of their impact and invest time thinking about how to prevent such problems now before the technology is fully mature and really permeates our lives.
So in the next few cases, we're going to look at some of these warning signs in real-life scenarios.